Hi, this is Phil Goodman with Tres Espadas. This is the 15 basic strikes.
The first thing you want to do when you're practicing the Tres Espadas 15 strikes is make sure that you're in a good knife stance. So your feet are shoulder width apart, and without bringing your feet any closer together this way, you take one good step this way, like that. Okay? So just like in the knife badge, you're in a good stance with your knees bent. Now to do strike number one, you're going to start with the roof block, like this. And then it's going to come across your body, diagonally downward, like that. So this is what one looks like. Two, it's going to come across your body the other way, and then go into a shield block like this. So 1, 2, 3 is going to come across the body like this. So 1, 2, 3. 4 comes across the body the other way. 4. So it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 is a thrust to the body. 5. 6 comes around as a precision thrust to the head and neck area, like this. 6. 7 comes around the other way. 7. So starting from the beginning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. All you're going to do is twist your wrist and your hips and your shoulders to generate power. 8, 9. Now 10 and 11 will be diagonal uppercut swings. So here we go, 10 and 11. 10, 11. So, starting from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Now 12 comes straight down and you bend your knees. So we're up like this, and then 12, like that. So 12, we're going to go into cat stance like this. But as we go into that cat stance, this is going to block just to the outside of our body and come around like this for another block. So you go 12, like that as you do the cat stance. So 12. So starting from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Now 13 can be thought as 12.5, 13, 13.5. And it's like this. 12.5, 13, 13.5. So in other words, from 12, it looks like this. Like that. So it goes 12, 13. From number 1, starting from number 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We're at 13. Now 14 is the uppercut strike going straight up at 6 o'clock. 14, like this. So we go 12, block to the outside, block to the inside into the cat stance. 13, 14, 15, you block like with the number 1, but instead of hitting to the front of the face like this, you're going to wrap around to the back of the head like this. So, it goes. So, starting with number 12, 12, 13, 14, and then the 15, like that, 15. So, starting from number 12, 12, 13, 14, 15, and it's important to note that 15 goes back into number 1, so this is done continuously. In fact, 15 to 1 is an important combination to know. So starting from 15, 15, so this is the block, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1, and so on, in a loop like that. Now, we've been doing this. Let me do it sideways once for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1. I've been doing this in the defensive stance. If you remember from the knife badge, the defensive stance is when you keep your weapon between you and your opponent and you have your strong side forward. When you have your strong side forward, it means your strong leg is there to push you away from your opponent faster. But when you move forward towards your opponent, you're pushing with your weak leg. You also keep the weapon in a more psychologically menacing position against your opponent, so that the overall effect is you're in a really good self-defense posture. Now the aggressive stance is with your strong side back. Because your strong side's back, it's easier for you to move towards your opponent than away from your opponent. It makes it harder to keep your weapon between you and the opponent to act as a shield. Though you should still strive to do that in an aggressive stance. What it does do is it makes it easier for you to employ your weak hand when you're attacking. So that if you want to control the opponent, grab the opponent's arm and control that arm while you're attacking, it's easier. Or if you're just boxing with this hand, you're going to get a lot more punches in. Twice as many attacks as you would if you were only attacking defensive with the defensive stance. So the aggressive stance is generally preferable at closer range. The defensive stance is generally preferable at longer range. I prefer the aggressive stance, and now I'm going to show you the 12 strikes with the aggressive stance. So, starting with number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15-1. Now, you can also do these with your weak side, which is a really good idea to practice coordination with your weak side if you are ever planning to fight with two weapons at once. It's also important to notice that you can do this two-handed, in which case the aggressive versus defensive stance doesn't matter as much. Okay, so Phil is a left-handed fighter, and he's going to do a better example of showing how to do that on the left side of his body than I am, so I'm going to attach his video at the end of this to show you how to do it with your left hand. Not much different, pretty obvious. Now, I'm going to do this. He's also going to do this in the defensive stance two-handed, but first I'm going to show you the aggressive stance two-handed. So here we are. Start with my rope block. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 1.
For the two-handed strikes with the 15 strikes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, block, 13, 14, the wrap, 15. Now all together, it should look like this.
A lot of questions about should I move my feet back and forth as I attack? Doesn't it feel natural if I do it like this? Yes, it does. However, you can move your feet however it feels natural, as long as you maintain this space between your feet as you do so. You don't want to be standing like this. Now, if your feet are in a straight line and not shoulder width apart, you can get away with that, provided that your hips are facing your opponent before you strike and after you strike. So if I get in a really long, narrow stance and I'm like this, and I'm still facing my opponent squarely, I can get away with it. What I can't get away with is this. Now I'm giving my opponent my flank right here. It's half the work of sidestepping for my opponent is already done because I just gave them my back. So don't give your opponent your back. You can be in a long stance this way or a long stance this way and get away with it if provided that your hips are facing them squarely before and after you attack. Sure, your hips are going to move around while you're attacking, but before and after you attack, while you're blocking, your hips are facing them squarely so you can still have your hips for generating power next time you attack. Otherwise, you're just doing this. That's not going to work. Not against a Tres Espadas fighter.